Right. This is our first review of, I think it was game week 21. There was some. It was a pretty boring weekend, I'm going to say, for the most part. There's like 3-0 or whatever. But they saved the best for last on Sunday evening. But I don't want to talk about it too much. As,
We started the weekend, John, I think, and then we'll walk up to the finale. Put it that way, shit.
Yeah. As always, I have Barney with me. How are you doing today, Barney?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm
buddy?
alright. I'm alright now. Fucking stressful weekend, don't you know? But
Don't you know? Did you get up to anything?
did I get up to anything? No, I watched Premier League pretty much Saturday and Sunday. Had a bit of a flu, so I just kind of chilled out. That was about it, really. Didn't get up the whole pile. How about yourself?
I went to the Kevin Bridges show. Did you ever see him, Kevin Bridges?
I know the guy. I've never seen him. Like, I know the guy you're on about.
Yeah, a Scottish comedian. He was hilarious. Oh my god, so funny.
Oh, nice.
I was
And
crazy.
he was a boy.
He was in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. I was in stitches. Like I had a headache the next day from how much I was laughing. Literally, it was so good. But as a result, I actually missed a load of Saturday's games because I had to drive there. But
Didn't fucking miss him.
but basically, since you had the flu all the weekend, you can talk us through how they went.
Absolutely. Fucking full of knowledge. Sonny.
Right, we are going to start with your beloved club, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Bit of a stinker. I saw like Havertz had a goal ruled out pretty early on. Was it 3 minutes there? Yeah, 3 minutes.
Yeah,
But
no.
How was it?
I mean, being honest with you, watching the game, I knew not saying that I'm a VAR fucking official here or anything, but I was like, nah, that's offside. It looks, there's something dodgy. Do you know the way if you see a goal nowadays,
Yeah,
you kind of look at it and you're like, nah, there's something off about that.
yeah.
Do you know, I didn't even see it sticking when in the back next. I was like, no, that has to be wrong. Like that, maybe I'm just used to it as a Liverpool fan. Maybe I'm just used to it. VAR coming in saving our asses all the time.
Facts,
But no,
by the way.
fuck Wolves. We're not one bit sorry either. But no, I definitely thought watching the game, I was like, God Almighty, if Chelsea just had something special up front, they were going to ransack us. Like, you know, it was like you were basically watching two teams who can't get the final ball right. So, like, I mean, Liverpool and Chelsea like would play great coming out of their defence, string a few passes together, it would go up front, and then if it just be a stupid misplaced pass, yeah, it was bad. But that was both teams. Like, I mean, it was like, I don't know. Do you ever see that meme of the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other?
yeah, it's a treat. But
Same way to describe it. Like, it's like, hey, you're shit, you're shit too. It's like, yeah, no, both teams are just playing horrible. Like, both teams have got us so wrong.
It was
like,
battle
to
of
go
mid-table,
through the-
though. It was battle of mid-table. And
Yeah,
it
I mean,
showed, like, I mean, I didn't really watch the game. I caught highlights again. But
Yeah.
it just, like, what are you making of this front three of Liverpool? Like, because Gakpo is what?
Salah needs the bench. Like, he needs to go on the
Salah
bench now
needs
for
the bench.
2-3 games.
Ooh.
Fuck me, man. He was so bad. He was so bad against Chelsea. He was invisible most of the game. I mean, like, to be fair, I know Cody Gakpo's only come in the door now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But has he
he
impressed?
did.
I mean, last week
No,
or on Friday, you said you can't even remember him touching the ball. Like.
Yeah, and I couldn't. And being honest with you, the Chelsea game, the poor man tried. Like, do you know what I mean? He tried, and like, but again, like, it's not there for him. Like, yeah, there's nothing. Like, I mean, Salah is just totally disconnected from Ox and Gakpo from minute one. You know, like, I mean, Salah was just doing his own thing up the right there, not really trying to link up with any play. It was just bad. It was just so bad. Like, it was just, there was no, like, you never thought a goal was going to come our way.
Right.
That's the way I put it.
I'm looking at the lineup here. It seems so different to, you know, your kind of title winning or Champions League winning side. It just seems a shadow of itself. Just looking at the midfield, like Naby Keita, I don't even want. I don't want to butcher this man's name. Bajcetic or
Oh,
something.
Stefan Bajatic.
Say it again.
Yes, Stefan Bajatic.
Oh, lovely pronunciation there. And
Yeah, I
Thiago,
don't
like there's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's a poor. That just seems like a midfield you can just walk through. You know.
I wouldn't say that. I think your man Stefan Bajatic is fucking class.
Yeah.
He was the one shining star. Him and Konate, really, I was so impressed by. I was impressed. I thought Naby Keita had a good game. I thought Thiago was okay, and funnily enough, when he came off, we did start to struggle in midfield.
Okay.
Like we weren't really. I don't know. I can't put my finger on this, but we were just not pushing the ball around as fast as he more direct or something like that. It was the wrong thing to bring on Nunes if you took off Thiago. I think.
Yeah.
I think if you're bringing Nunes, leave Thiago on because he's gonna you're gonna have at least something.
Yeah, he's gonna feed him.
But it's the bad state of affairs. Like when you look at Thiago and you think that's the best we have, that's the best. Like that's our midfield threat there. Like is Thiago, and the man can barely walk. Like I mean, there's no stamina there. There's no sprint. There's no speed. There's no acceleration.
He's not known for that.
No.
He's more like possession and playing the killer pass. Like.
Yeah, I just again, and then he's Klopp's kind of depending on Naby and Stefan and fucking James Milner and Andy Robertson to kind of fill that void. And again, like we keep getting caught then out of position.
How the fuck is James Milner still playing for you? Like, how is he in your starting lineup? Was Trent suspended or injured or something? I imagine.
No, Trent is just not defending. He's obviously on a break. Like,
was he dropped?
He was, of course. He came on.
Oh
he came on though. When Chelsea brought on Mudryk, literally about a minute later, there was a kind of breaking ball between Milner and Mudryk just left him for dead, and Milner just had to hack him down, like, and he did, like, fair fucks them. I can't really say a bad word against Milner because Milner was very fucking solid the whole game. He did his job, you know, like.
Yeah.
He was where he needed to be. It's like where Trent is way up the field. He's hoping on the midfielders or Joe Gomez is going to watch his back. Like,
yeah. That's what Jordan Henderson was doing for years. Like, I mean,
yeah, Jordan Henderson's legs are gone too as well. Like, and I actually thought Joe Gomez had a good game. Being honest with you, Joe Gomez and Konate played well centre back. Like.
I mean, like, from the I mean, there wasn't many highlights. You probably watched the entire game, but I mean, it was a 0-0 draw. You know, neither team scored.
Yeah.
I think that shows that shows like how good each other's attack is as well at the moment. Like, neither of you really has goals in your team. I mean, Salah's been carrying the can for years now, and his goals have dried up. Mane is gone. Yeah. You've brought in a couple of other forward players, but they don't seem to have. They haven't got the kind of killer finishing instinct yet. They might eventually, you know. I mean, they're still both young, like Gakpo and Nunes, and still have Jota to come in and all that. But yeah, I mean, you look at Chelsea. What was Murdoch like? What did you make of him?
Fuck it, he'll be a good player. He's got really quick feet, really good in the ball. If he was on the whole game against Liverpool, I reckon could have been a different story because he would have absolutely rinsed James Milner asunder. I mean, he was on the minute and Milner had to hack him down. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To say that up there like that, I mean, we probably would have had to put Gomez over to the right and brought on Matip to deal with him if he was on the whole game because he looked electric. Now he did. He looked good. I won't lie. No. He didn't score. He didn't do anything special either. Like, he just had 2 or 3 good chances and 2 or 3 good runs with the ball. And I think a lot of that is Chelsea fans kind of lighting his fire a small bit, you know, because he's got cool hair and he's blonde and he's white. And Chelsea are fucking racist bastards and love white players. Jokes. But I again, like, I mean, it probably wasn't the right. It's hard to judge him just on that game, but from what he did with the ball when he had it, he did all right. Like, he did good. Like, but he's not 100 million fucking euro. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, but I mean, in reality, no one should be worth that much. No one should. But I know what you mean. Like, given what he's actually done, in his career to date. I mean, it's all based on potential, and like anyone. I mean, I would say right now because he's going to get compared to Anthony because they're the same kind of price. Anthony's not doing it, but we'll get on to him later.
Oh God, yeah, please. But yeah, I mean, all in all, that game was probably just one. If you missed us, you wouldn't be too sick in the boat, really. I mean, as a fan, obviously, I watched it and I was disappointed. Again, we're missing Luis Diaz so badly. We're missing Jota so badly. I can't wait to fuck Mohamed Salah on the bench because he's after getting his big contract now, and he's after dropping tools. He's after seriously dropping tools. Like, there's no pressing by him anymore. There's no. It's just everyone really. But again, I thought Bojatic, Konate, Gomez, Milner played alright. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy halfway through the season where like both teams are like Brentford, Fulham, and Brighton are all ahead. That's crazy.
A lot can change, and I'm going to make a really big call at the end of this podcast as well. I'm going to make a really, really big call. I've been thinking about it today, and I just think it's going to happen. So we keep going in ours.
Or Liverpool going to win the league, are they?
Liverpool won't get before the season. I'm making a bigger prediction, but anyways.
Okay. Yeah.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I did not see this game.
Again, neither did I. But like in terms of like the story, I mean, I'm not sure if a draw really helps either. Like a win for either team would have been massive, given that there was other relegation teams playing against each other like West Ham, Everton. So a draw I don't think really helps either one. But look, I mean, Forest are going to be the happier. They're obviously higher up in the table. They have a very like literally one game, but they have a bit of breathing room. Whereas Bournemouth, they're the home team. I mean, there's not that many fans. Like that stadium doesn't hold many fans, but they were the home team. You would have hoped that they would have been able to pull something out the bag. But look, Forest, they managed to get a draw out of it. I mean, Bournemouth went 1-0 up before half time, and just before, 10 minutes left in the game.
I actually loved it because Sam Sturridge came on for fucking Nottingham Forest there, and they booed the fuck out of him, the Bournemouth fans, because obviously he used to play Bournemouth.
Right, yeah.
And then he was the one then to score. Like, it was just beautiful justice, really. Actually,
do you know that fella who assisted him, Johnson? I think it's Ben Johnson. I could be wrong there, but he's a serious player. He's if Brennan Johnson. If Forest stay up, I think it's going to be because of that man. Because he's the one that's like, he's the threat. He's the threat for them. Have I missed something? When did Chris Wood go to Nottingham Forest?
When fucking Newcastle realised he was shit.
When did that happen? I completely missed this. When did it happen?
Sure, you haven't seen him play for Newcastle this season, like, do you know what I mean?
He's played a couple of games, but yeah. Anyways, he didn't score in his replacement score, so.
You're thinking of Dan Burn, can't you?
Huh?
You're thinking of Dan Burn. You're thinking of Dan Burn, like, who scored that goal for Newcastle there the last day. Like, didn't he come from fucking Burnley as well? No, or he might.
He might. No, I doubt it. I don't know, but anyway, I didn't know that Chris Wood went on loan or sold to Nottingham Forest. Anyways,
he bought everyone.
Yeah, they
agree.
Yeah.
Fucking boy. I mean.
Just going back. So, just on our predictions. So, you predicted Liverpool versus Chelsea. You said Liverpool would win against Chelsea 3-1. I said Liverpool would beat Chelsea 2-0. Obviously, actual score was 0-0. So, we're both wrong on that.
I was more wrong than you were, so.
yeah. Bournemouth versus Forest. Bernie said Bournemouth would beat Forest 2-0. I said Forest. Go on.
I was so close.
I was closer. I said Forest would beat Bournemouth 2-1. So I was off by a goal there. So painful stuff.
You won Oh, fucking hell.
This one though we got horribly wrong. Leicester versus Brighton. My
I just
God.
went a bit mad though. Did I say 6-0 or something
You
like that?
did. You literally did. Yeah.
Like
Like
that was.
why? Like no one forced you to do that.
It was my first podcast. I was excited. Okay, shoot me. Fucking hell, right? Fucking hell. Well, Graham Souness makes mistakes, and he's still employed by Sky. So shoot me.
Don't
All right.
talk to me about Souness. He's the worst pundit of all time. Anyways,
There's a reason. The reason Sky keep him around the place is because he's so fucking deluded. Like,
yeah,
you're probably not paying.
He gets people to hate him. That's why they love him. Guaranteed. They're all about the views.
Yeah, but
Anyways, Brighton
fucking
versus Leicester. When Brighton scored first, because I was keeping up with the scores. Like when Brighton scored first, I was like it was not early on, but halfway through the first half. I was like, right, this is the start, 4-0 incoming, right? Because I just thought Leicester would fall apart. But in fairness to them, they did battle back, like they did.
Did you see Mitoma's goal?
Thomas goal. I'll have to look back. I probably did. I've seen all of the goals, guaranteed, but I cannot remember it. Although I do remember Ferguson's goal. So mainly because you told me about him, and I was like, all right, that's the guy.
If he's not starting against France in March for Ireland, I'll go up and shoot Stephen Kinney myself. I swear to God, he is some player. Like he is some player. Like he is pedigree quality. Like you can just see it in him.
It was a great header. Like that's not easy.
Yeah. He just has like this mix of Niall Quinn and Robbie Keane inside him. I don't know what it is, but he can head the ball, he can dribble with us, he can pass the ball.
That's outrageous.
He hold up the defender.
That is outrageous.
What?
Those are two of Ireland's greatest ever strikers. How are you comparing them to those two already? Like how?
Because I can see the attributes he possesses. I can just see in him like, look. John, I'm not wrong. I said Eddie Nketiah years ago was going to be a great player, and what did he do? What did he do this Sunday? What did he do? All right, predictions.
Fuck, I'm ending
my
the podcast. Fuck this.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. But you haven't one of those before or heard of it. Yeah. No. Anyways, getting back to it, Mitoma at the start. I was actually reading about him, right? Apparently, he turned on a professional contract when he finished high school in Japan or whatever they call it. And when he finished, instead of taking on a professional contract, which he was being offered a load of them, especially around Germany and stuff like that, he went away and studied in college, and he got this sports diploma or whatever, like some masters in sports. But he basically studied how to beat a defender one-on-one. And how different movements and different styles and stuff can beat different defenders. And then he went playing professional football.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went playing professional football. And like you can actually see when he plays. Like if you watched, like I didn't see a whole pile of the Brighton Leicester game. I was kind of flicking between a few games.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watched even him against Trent against Liverpool when they beat us fucking 3-1, like. He just knew he had him figured out straight away by the first minute, like, and then he knew how to just beat Trent, and he was doing the same thing again against Leicester. Just such a clever player, really clever. Like he's not blessed with fucking, strength or anything like that. Like, but he'll know where to be. I think he could be. I think we haven't seen the last of this guy at all. I think he's going to be massive. Like I could see someone like Spurs buying him now and him just being absolutely. He could just kick on. Like I think he's a serious player. Like really, really do. Like I'm really a fan of that as well. That he went away and studied football.
Yeah.
And all this. Like
yeah.
I think player. Yeah, I think.
In fairness, like
get rid of that.
If you think about it, like he's after taking on the kind of Trossard role, John, because Trossard was on fire at the start of the season, and you wouldn't really know it, but that he's like. Not only obviously he's left now, but he hasn't been playing the last couple of games. It's Mitoma that's been playing, and he's been on fire for them. So yeah, it's
and like they're actually playing way better. Like.
yeah, they're playing unreal. Yeah. But no, good. I'd say it's a good result for Leicester because Brighton are obviously on fire. Leicester battling at the bottom of the table. So look, is it a good point? Jesus, Leicester have lost 12 times this season, Thais. That is painful.
Yeah, I know.
Painful to watch. Yeah.
This is the point for Brendan turns to Brenda. You know, I mean, he's losing it now. He's fucking. He needs to walk. Like he's obviously waiting for Leicester to sack him. Like he's lost it. He's lost his dressing room. Like they're not playing.
Sure.
They're not playing for him anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're just lining up and seeing what happens. Like they're just He needs to go. He needs to go. They really need to get rid of him. Like. Yeah,
I think so. Just for the kind of managerial boost that you get, when a new manager comes in. That new. They need that. They just need a couple of games just to get some points on the board. That's honestly what they need.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Going on to the next one. Southampton versus Villa.
Fucking terrible game. I was watching it there. Such a terrible game. Oh my god.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins.
It was like watching.
I like Watkins. I do. He's a decent little player. Like he's clever.
Yeah, why don't you go out and buy him so for like 200 million? Fuck. You probably would pay for him now.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. You bought Darwin Núñez for like 85 million and the guy is a donkey, so fuck off.
I told you this last week, he's exactly the same as Mane's and Suarez's. That guy is going to be exquisite, right? And you were just jealous because you couldn't buy him. He wouldn't go to you. He wouldn't go to you.
I'm not jealous one bit. When we didn't sign him, I was like, thank God we did not sign him. Honestly.
Yeah.
My God, we dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Yeah.
Dodged a bullet there.
So great. We didn't sign the hottest prospect in European football. So relieved.
Was Haaland. Will you go away? Like Núñez, hottest prospect.
Haaland was the prospect.
Will you stop? He's like 22 years of age. How old is Darwin Núñez? How old are they both?
Same age.
Same age.
23.
And one's a prospect and one isn't. Yeah, will you go away?
He's 22. He's like 30. He's fucking. They've amended his birth cert or something to
he's not
say he's younger.
No. He's not caught up in the Cameroon scandal. Have you seen that, by the way? How like 10 of their players like have lied. They've been basically caught lying on their birth cert. Like they're not. They're way older. There was even, Yusuful Makoto for Dortmund.
They're saying he's like 28 or something.
They're saying he's way older. I think that's not proven yet, but like a load of the Cameroonian team is basically way older than what they say they are. But that's not what we're arguing.
Yeah.
So for the predictions for this one, right?
But
do you remember what you said for this one?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I put down a draw.
I put down a draw for 1-1. You put down 2-1 to Villa. So you did get the team right there.
Villa.
You did get the team right.
Yay, go.
Yay, go you. If VAR just didn't exist, James Ward-Prowse would have got me the correct score. But, fuck VAR.
No,
it doesn't work.
Oh. Yeah, we gotta come up with a price a little bit away. When I finish this table and we start putting these scores into the table and showing up in the podcast and stuff, and we have to figure out some prize. So
yeah, I'm down for that, man.
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
A few comments with suggestions would be great.
Yeah. Comment down below.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing too expensive, no. Nothing too. I don't like. So I don't want to fucking, nothing too expensive,
Don't be scared.
Cake or something.
A cake, yeah. Jesus, the budget is huge here.
Unlimited.
Right, El Sacico, and obviously, literally an hour and a half before this podcast started, the sack happened. The sack happened. Jared Bowen with 2. Just before halftime, putting the nails in the coffin for Fat Frank to go. I saw the goals for this. I really like Jarbon. I think he's a goal getter. Like he has a knack of just ending up in the right place. I think
he's at the right club. If he went to a bigger club, he'd be useless.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like West Ham would just get
If
more
we got in
space.
the morning, I'd start bawling and crying, to be honest with you. I'd start bawling and crying. I probably wouldn't watch him for a while. Do you know, like, he's just that sort of player. Like, he'll do so well at West Ham, like, but again, if he goes to a big club, pressure will kill him, like, you know? Even though he's probably destined to be a Spurs player or something, you know?
Yeah, because he's he's just obsessed with Spurs. Yeah, no, I mean,
we don't fucking like Spurs, alright? No one likes Spurs, but we don't like him, definitely. So, there'll be no nice talk to Spurs in this podcast, for sure.
Someone's got to play devil's advocate with you around Spurs.
Get a Spurs fan on, and I'll happily argue with him for the whole podcast.
See, the thing is, they have nothing to defend themselves with, so it's just a bullying session, basically.
It is, but it is warranted, you know.
If you say so. But yeah, like Everton rooted down at the bottom of the table. Obviously, Southampton lost 2, so I mean they're both joint last. Like Frank is gone.
So poor.
Who do you think?
They're so poor.
Who do you think replaces Frank Lampard?
Fuck. Right. So it like Everton. It kind of depends on where they are. Like, I mean, financially, can they afford to bring in someone decent? I'm not even sure. I know they've obviously had to pay off Lampard now a bit, but I have seen this morning that Bielsa is odds-on favourite to take over the job.
So I'm looking at it now on the screen. If you take a look, there's Sean Dyche. There's
ideal manager from.
He actually would be. Yeah, he'd be the perfect one. Bielsa is there as well. You're right, 3-1. David Moyes 6-1, which is just stupid to me. Nuno.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Give us the fucking keys of the city on a plate, like, thank you. Duncan Ferguson, for fuck's sake, should they get rid of him this year? Yeah, no, bring him back.
And yeah, they started losing when they lost him. There you go now.
That is true. He did do a decent job as interim manager when he hadn't put a few games before Fat Frank came along.
Yeah,
but
no, I don't know.
Like
Sean Dyche is the one, honestly.
To me, like I was talking, a buddy of mine there, he's an Arsenal fan now, and buddy of mine at work this morning, we're talking, and I said, like, I think the best manager to go into Everton at the moment and put up with the fans and the shit and just the shit players that are there, I goes, would be Sean Dyche. He just come in, take no, he just play pure defensive
football. He does not care about unless, you know, he just doesn't care what people think about him. He's great.
But,
I'm a fan of him.
But if you're an Everton supporter, like, and you've been told, do you remember when Ancelotti came into Everton? Everton got Gomez there, and they got in a few good players, good signings, like, and everyone thought they were going to fucking rip the fuck out of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it just blew up in their face.
Then they didn't.
They had no money. They bought in fucking Rafa Benitez, who was literally there to take the piss. I mean, and they had no money for no one. So, like, it tells me that they don't have a whole lot of money, especially they're building a new ground at the moment. So their biggest concern is just to probably stay up in the Premier League. So they'll probably go for someone like Sean Dyche or someone like Marco Bielsa. They're only halfway through the season.
I just don't see Bielsa going there. I really don't.
Yeah, I can't think he retired from Leeds. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Or did he got sacked? He got sacked today.
He got sacked from Leeds, but I just don't see him going to Everton.
Nah, he's too old. He's probably too sick anyways and stuff. You know, like, his health was never great anyways, I think, when he was at Leeds. So I don't think so. But
no, he must have glutes like a god because he was always squatting. Always.
Yeah. But the only other thing I would say is if they do mean to, like, keep their fans happy and make a real, like, intent, you know, they should go bigger. Like, I mean, Tuchel's out there. Pochettino's out there. You know, fucking, there's good managers out there too that don't have a job.
There's great managers out there, but I mean, like, the
Yeah,
chances
it just
of them
depends on
going
people.
to a club that's literally fighting relegation 2 seasons in a row just seems.
Yeah, well, any manager should be well able to do that. Any manager shouldn't be looking down at that at all. They should be looking, right, the Premier League club wants me. Fuck, I'm in the door. Like, you know, if I'm good enough, I'll keep them up. Like,
Yeah.
that's the way I see it. Like, so, like, it's nice to see, like, my dear managers there, like Tuchel and fucking, you know, turning down jobs like that, like, you know, saying, oh, that's not where I want to be. It's like, bull fucking shit. Get the club up, like, bring the club up, and then, you know,
it's a double-edged sword. Like, I mean, if you're the one that if you're the one that actually pulls them out. I mean, look how Frank Lampard was just celebrated at Everton last year because he kept them
like
up. But he's just not a good manager. I don't understand how he keeps getting jobs. Like, he's a shit manager.
They didn't stay up because they played good enough. It was the other teams around them that collapsed.
Yeah.
That allowed them to stay up. Like,
I was gonna pull you up there when you said they didn't stay up. Like, that should have been. You should have finished that sentence. Like, you shouldn't have paused.
You just love that I'm wrong. Like, you know, you just love it. Like.
You're right.
Like, yeah, you do.
That's
greasy.
why I fucking love this predictions idea, because I'm gonna destroy you.
Well, we'll see. No, we'll see. All right.
All right. Palace versus Newcastle, dead game.
And dead game.
0-0. Just looking.
I'm starting to see little cracks in Newcastle already.
Well, they have no
I'm
goal
starting
scorer.
to see cracks.
Like right now, they have no goal scorer, but they are very, very tough to score against. Like, that's a fact. They're tough to score against.
Yeah.
So,
And Nick Pope is a big reason there, though. He's a serious keeper.
Yeah.
Like, how he wasn't in the Euros for England, and that fucking Stewie Griffin twat was playing for the goals. Like, I mean, fucking head. He's a far superior keeper to Jordan Pickford, like Nick Pope.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my god!
Wholeheartedly.
I'd take him to go to Liverpool if Alisson retired in the morning. Like, he's a serious keeper. Like, he's tall, strong, fast, everything you want. Everything you want.
He's perfect for the English game as well. Perfect for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It just bothers me. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was a fairly dead game, though. But there was a bit of NC going on, but. Oh, I don't know. Fucking Palace can be a hard team to play too, like, you know, at home.
We tried during midweek and we didn't succeed. Yeah. So yeah. Look, Newcastle matched our result during the week, so it's not.
The only thing I'd say is it was a bad way to draw for us, like, because literally the teams above us slipped up and we could have gained a bit of ground.
Yeah.
And no, we had to go and draw and be shit. So I don't know.
Even like the likes of Brighton did as well. They slipped up. So yeah, look, it's a boring game, but Newcastle are still, I think, third in the league, so they are doing the business. Oh, by the way, prediction. You predicted Newcastle to win 2-0. I predicted Newcastle to win 1-0. So
okay. Yeah, you get that one, so I suppose.
Yeah, another one for me. Oh, look. By the way, sorry. We didn't mention this during the Fat Frank debate, but West Ham won 2-0, obviously. Bernie predicted a 1-1 draw.
I did.
I predicted the correct score, so yeah.
Oh, you got that one right, you fucker. Oh, you didn't know.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
You got one right.
Yeah. This one's another stinker from both of us, by the way. Leeds Brentford. Another 0-0. There was 3 0-0s this weekend. It wasn't great.
We'll see that too often, like, but fuck it, yeah.
Especially for Leeds team, they never keep clean sheets, like, ever.
Yeah.
Now I have a Leeds buddy who absolutely despises Jesse Marsh, and he watched the podcast.
He's not a Leeds fan. He's not a Leeds fan.
He watched the podcast and hated you.
He's for the pie and chips. He's not a Leeds fan. That guy. Don't know what he's talking about. Fucking Marsh was brilliant manager. Integral. I stand by everything I said last week, to be honest with you. I stand by everything I said last week. All right?
I don't even remember.
I do remember. I was a bit high, but anyways, all right, that's fine. All right. a vague memory of what I said, and I said he's a great manager. I think he's the right fit for Leeds. They have no one, John. They have no star player. Like, I mean, what he's done there at Leeds is he's taken championship fucking players and he's made them play like a team that they can survive in the Premier League. What do Leeds fans want? Do they want to win the Premier League?
I think
Go out
it's
and fucking right there.
I think it's very early. I think it's very early to say that he will keep them in the Premier League. You know, the same way that you said about Everton, that Frank Lampard didn't keep him up. It was worse teams around them. I think that was the exact same story for Leeds. There was 3 teams worse than Leeds last year, and I think like Leeds are like they have a championship squad. Their squad is shocking, and the players that this fella that Jesse Marsh has brought in look pretty shit. In fact, like I don't like no. I watch a bit of Leeds play sometimes. Mark Rocca seems like a decent signing. Nanto, from what I've seen of him, looks like he's the one bit of kind of energy and kind of pace in the team, in my opinion. Everyone else just looks just shocking.
Rodrigo can turn on in games, and then you won't see him again for another 5 games. You know, it's mad. Like
Rodrigo is like a bit of quality up front, but I mean, there's no one to pass. Like Aronson, he's just useless. Like, I'm sure my mate will agree, Dennis. Like, he hates Aronson. He cannot stand him.
I think Tyler Adams as well. Like, he's another.
Yeah, like these. Like when Jesse Marsh gets sacked, all of his players are just going to be like, so what do we do now? Like, he's brought all of Red Bull Salzburg with him. Like, but not,
he's dead right. He's dead right.
But not the one good player, Benjamin Sesko. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like, I mean, you're going to have to pay massive money for him. Like, so fuck that. You know, like he's working with what he's got. Like, I mean, he's at a fucking, you know, like, I mean, they're a championship club. Like, they're obviously trying to make the transition back to Premier League. Like, they need a guy that's just going to keep him in it. And
you think Jesse Marsh is that guy?
I do, absolutely, 100%. I just think he has. I mean, tactically, he's all right. He's better than fucking Frank Lampard. Do you know? I mean, tactically, he's just. He's a bit.
It's not a compliment.
I know, but like, how am I going to explain this? Like, he knows where to put the players as bog standard as they are. He knows where to put players in positions and get a result from a game. I mean, he only came in the door, the start of last year, halfway through the season before that, was it? Or it was nearly towards the end.
It was either end of 2021 or beginning of 2022.
Whenever he came in, his Leeds were in trouble because Bielsa, they were down near the bottom when Bielsa left. And like, he kind of guided them all of us. He got him playing fucking good, energetic football. I mean, if you gave this guy 50 million, John, and told him, right, go away and buy what you need, but you only have 50 million, I guarantee you he'd make that 50 million work. Whereas if you gave 50 million to Ole, Gunnar Solskjaer, or fucking Thomas Tuchel, or any one of those managers, they'd start crying wanting 100 million more, you know? I look, again, I'm just defending him. I think he's a great manager. I just think he's not got the right fucking players or money, or he's probably not at the right club. But if you put him into a club that was developing fucking players, you know, good scouting and all that, I think he'd do very well. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, Dennis, but and you don't have the money to sack him either, so you're going to have to fucking put up with him. So he will keep in the Premier League. He will keep him in the Premier League. I know that for a fact. Like,
you know what for a fact?
Yeah, I was told by a wizard last night. Or maybe I was watching Dog Spring. I don't know. I can't remember. Right?
I kind of want to see how much he spent at Leeds. I just want to see. I would, because you said 50 million.
50 million, I'd say, over the last 2 seasons. I'd say, if even. I don't even think they have that money to spend, being honest with you. But if you get...
they've literally spent 28... Are you looking at the screen right now? I don't know if you can see this. Right, I'll zoom in. They spent 32 million on Brendan Aronson,
Yeah.
28 million on Jorginho Rutter, who's their new French striker. I think he's only played one or two. He might have came off the bench at the weekend.
He's going to be unreal. You've never heard of him before. He's unreal.
Yeah, Sinistera was for 25 million.
I know him. Yeah.
He's injured, I think, at the minute. Tyler Arden, 17 million. Christensen, 13. They've spent money. They've spent 144 million. 164 of the total market. So when you're saying give him 50 million and he'll do something, I mean...
Yeah, they've spent a lot now. I didn't realise that. But, go back down there again a second. Are these all the players he signed? Jesus, I don't remember.
Current season. So I think this takes into account who they've sold as well, or on loan as well, because Dan James is there. So look, this is the transfer record. 14 in, 18 out, minus 31.34 million. So they're so he spent money. He's got the money, but I personally I kind of have to side with. I probably think. Well, I think Dennis is too harsh, and I think you're too kind, so I'm kind of in the middle.
I can be harsh too, but I'm just saying, I just think for what Leeds, what do they expect? They're a championship team. No, boy, just looking at those, even that the striker that they signed there from France, there,
Rutter.
I never heard of him, but wouldn't it be so typical of that good team on the scene and just banged in 10 goals? I mean,
yeah, but he can, all right.
I like managers like that. That's what I'm saying. I like managers that don't go for the fucking obvious, that they just pull players out of everywhere, and they try. And I just think he will possibly make it work with them. They just need that bit of time. They need that bit of. Again, he did such a good job. I suppose Salzburg. I know it's the Austrian fucking league, but
All right, I'm looking at stats for his entire career. Right, his entire career. And he's got 91 appearances and 20 goals and 10 assists, I think that is. Which, look, he's 20 years of age. He's had two...
Yeah, what were you doing at 20 years of age? I
was doing ungodly things, Bernie. Ungodly things.
Were you just selling into meteor, I think?
I was doing stuff that cannot be spoken about. Anyways, we've spoken far too much on this. So you predicted Leeds versus Brentford to be a draw, but you said 3-3. So I suppose, I don't know, do you get points for that? Do you get points that it was a draw?
I suppose just because I need to win. Yeah, no, fuck it. Yeah, I didn't picture either team keeping the clean sheet in that game. Being totally honest with you,
same.
I'm not saying Jesse March is a fucking messiah. That's the best manager in the Premier League.
No, you are.
Well, look, yeah, no. See, again, what do we want? What do we want? I'm just saying the guy is doing a decent job at the club.
We're spoken too much about this.
Yeah, I know. But I just and the fans just are upsetting me.
I predicted Brentford to beat Leeds 3-1. We were both wrong.
Yeah, you did.
I was less wrong. Anyways, this is where my prediction. This is probably my best prediction of the day. In the preview, I said this game has a Haaland hat-trick written all over it. And what happened? And look, his goal, he got a penalty. I don't know, was it the angle or whatever, or the replay, but I didn't think it was a penalty. But I'm sure he tripped him up. I don't know if you saw the
that's soft, they're the penalties that go over VAR,
Yeah, it was a weird one. I just didn't think it was a penalty. But look, he scored a penalty. That was his second goal. His first goal was obviously a De Bruyne cross, because them two are just fucking Dane. De Bruyne is cross. He's just so good at crossing the ball. And Haaland's so good at attacking him.
That cross was so good. It was just the outside of his fucking right foot. He's on the right side, and it was the outside of his left foot.
No, it was just an outswinging cross, but he's just so good at it, and Haaland's so good at attacking it. And then the third goal, Wolves trying to play it out from the back, and Mahrez basically danced around and still squared it to Haaland to get a hat trick. So it was 3-0. I predicted 5-0 for this one. Barney predicted 4, so you got one up there.
Yeah, but you got the hat trick, so
I predicted that. I should get bonus points for that. Right, moving on to the final game. Go on.
Yeah, no, you're sneaky there with your bonus points. Like, where are these bonus points coming from? This was never discussed. That's a whole other column in the Excel table, which adds a lot of X's to the formula.
That make it all work. Formulas there, yeah.
like this bonus point stuff. We try to work it out.
Right.
I get my guys up.
You get your guys, yeah. Me,
my
myself, and I. Right, I'm still recovering from this game.
Okay.
Right, first of all, right, I just want to say, if I was a neutral, this game was fucking amazing. Bernie, you were a neutral. Honestly, it was just one of the best games I've watched in a while. It was just, I don't know what it was. Even the fucking lead up to it, even the City Wolves game was on there. Like, and I was like, come on, like fucking. I'm sick of watching one-sided games. I just want to watch. Yeah. I couldn't. Even last week, like, I couldn't come up in my head like who was going to win, or I couldn't even come up with a prediction because I was like, I kept going like I think Arsenal could do, but then my gut was saying United could do it, like because they just have the fucking heart, like they have the. Yeah.
And I really rate Ten Hag as a manager.
Yeah, so do I.
When you think they're going to lose, that's when they're actually going to win, because like I just thought he had one up, but my God, what a game! Go on, you can send me off. Give us your thoughts.
Look, first, I think 2-3 minutes of the game, Arsenal were all over us. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't score. No. Just I would say first 5, and they were all over us. They were not Saka, but Odegaard had a good chance. It was on his left foot as well. He just completely mishit it. But they were all over us. Then, I think between 5 to maybe 7 to 15 minutes, we kind of started getting control of the ball, started attacking. Didn't really have any clear-cut opportunities or anything like that, but we were holding more possession in the final third. And then obviously the goal came, and it was good pressing. Rashford intercepted Partey's pass out, completely sold Partey, and scored a brilliant goal. It was great. Like, Ramsdale couldn't do anything about it, but Rashford just did so well to get past Partey.
And Wakehorse did very well in that situation as well, I think.
Yeah, Wakehorse is a weird one to me. He's really good at like pressing, but he's not really. And look, it's only his second game, but he's not really done anything in terms of like being a threat in front of goal. He's not done anything. So it's kind of weird.
Tough game.
You've
had a lot of awkward shitty games. Like the way against Palace there, and fucking this one now. Like they're just shitty games. They're not a great. And like in the middle of January as well, it's not a great fucking time to bring on new signings.
Yeah.
Really, if you're in the away games, so you can kind of forgive him, but
But look, I mean, I was in dream. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Jesus, yes. We're kind of good at holding leads recently this year. I think this was actually the first time that we've this season where we've scored first and lost. This was the first game that's happened this season. So I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was dreamland. But Arsenal were like, they responded so well. They were just all over us then after that goal. And pretty much for the next after half time as well, they were all over us pretty much after that goal for the next 30 minutes. Honestly speaking, like they just were. They play so well. It's so difficult to get the ball off them. And their goal to make it 1-1, it was a good goal, but I was fuming at Wan-Bissaka because and I think we mentioned this in the podcast last week.
He's not a centre back, like.
He's not a centre back. Like, just look at what he does. Like, he just.
Holy fuck! No, he did well in Martinelli. Like, he held him off on that left hand side. Well, any one-on-one situation.
He's great one-on-one.
Martinelli could not get around him. But just inside the box in terms of like awareness. It's awareness, John. Like it's the mental side.
Yeah, it's awareness.
He has the ability, like, but he's just mentally, it's probably just not there to be centre back, like. But I still think he could come in time.
He just doesn't check his shoulder. Like if he
Yeah.
just checked his shoulder, that
He
that
just on-
situation would not have happened.
Yeah, but Nketiah is a fox in as well, like, on top of it, like, so it is, like, how many times a week do we see centre backs get cut out the same way Basika did? I mean, it
True.
happens every week.
True.
Experience centre back. I mean, you mean to tell me Thiago Silva's never been caught like that before? He fucking has a course, like, do you know what I mean?
No, but this is so often for Wan-Bissaka. It just happened on a different side of the pitch.
Yeah. No, totally agree.
Arsenal were all over us. Got a goal. I thought they were going to score again before halftime, but they didn't. And then, my God, what a goal by Saka! What a goal by Saka!
Oh, that was so class. But go on, no, keep going. I'm just taking notes as you're going. Go on.
Yeah. I kind of thought De Gea should have done better. I think the maybe commentators, or depending on who you're watching, they kind of mentioned, like, he kind of he was on his toes and he was stepping, and as Saka shot, like, he was like almost off the ground, so he couldn't like react in time. So I think that might have been a reason. And look, that's being really harsh. Like, it was a fantastic shot. So I was kind of like, Jesus, that's it now. Like, they're just gonna press on. They might score one more, make it 3-1, make it even more comfortable. But geez, yeah, like what you said earlier, the heart in this team, and honestly, the heart in this team is summed up by Lisandro Martinez. Even the way he like headed that towards goal is really, and it was on purpose, in my opinion, and it makes it so much more awkward for a defender when it's kind of lobbed almost, and he's backpedaling, so he has no. I was going mental. Even on my watch, like, it has, where it kind of measures decibels around you, like it kind of measures the noise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it reached 95 decibels where I was in the pub, and it was like 10 minutes of this, and you're gonna have permanent hearing loss. It was mental. And then we got to the end, and in fairness to Arsenal, last 20 minutes of that game, it was coming. It was, and they probably got what they deserved. I personally thought that Zinchenko was offside.
He fucking was not. He basically was keeping on. Sorry.
No.
Nketiah
was definitely on. That wasn't even a question to me.
They didn't show Zinchenko, but was he affecting play?
He was the one that crossed it in. He crossed it in.
He didn't play for the cross, though.
No? The pass from Trossard to Zinchenko, I think it was between Lisandro Martinez and Zinchenko, like, who was, if Lisandro Martinez was playing him on. I thought
that line, man, he looked inside. He looked inside to me.
He could have been. It didn't even look like it was checked by VAR. That's all I'm saying.
It's what you did for the Man City game. That's the way I see it.
Will you fuck off? That goal was totally legitimate. I don't care what anyone says. Anyone says.
It was the most unlegitimate goal I've ever seen in my life. It was the most Old Trafford thing to happen in football I've ever seen.
Go away. My God. Short memories, I swear to God. Anyway, overall, if I was to sum it up, I thought Anthony he just doesn't offer much. Like, he looks like he's going to be a threat, and then he's not. He loses the ball. Like, he looks like he should be way faster and, like, more in control of the ball, but he just isn't.
How much do you pay for
100 million, isn't it? Like, it was ridiculous price. Ridiculous.
And, like, people rip on Darren Nunes then, and it's just like, oh my God almighty.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Oh my fucking beer. Like.
Rightfully so. But yeah, Arsenal, man. I thought we missed Casemiro hugely. I thought McTominay was anonymous in the entire game. And that's not to harp on, like, McTominay obviously has his critics, and he's not good enough to start for United. It's just a fact. But I genuinely, sometimes he does really well in big games, and he puts himself about. He's energetic. He has the stamina. But we missed Casemiro so much in that game. I genuinely think he would have made such a huge difference in terms of like the control. Last 20 minutes, and you need someone to kind of grab a hold of the game, like, and calm everyone down. He would have been that player, but obviously he wasn't there. Yeah, man, it was a great, like, it's more heartbreaking obviously because it's a last minute winner for Arsenal, so it was painful. But I was in games last year, right? We would have completely bottled this, like 5-0, 6-0. We would have lost, and that would have been it. But at least I can kind of walk out and be somewhat proud of the team. It still gives me hope. It still gives me hope watching United right now. But anyways, I've waffled on this. What did you make of the game?
And you finished crying?
I am, yeah. There's tears streaming down my face, Bernie.
Okay, so when I was watching the game, I was watching it in my car because it was the only place to get peace in the house, and I was taking kind of notes on it.
All right.
Now, you touched on a few of them, all right? Which is cool.
Okay.
So I'm going to start. Right, my first one, Bruno Fernandes, was probably one of your worst, not your worst player, but one of your worst players in the field that game. He got picked. I seen 2 or 3 times where he got picked with the ball. The ball he's eating, like,
yeah,
it was tackled on him. I thought he was just falling down. I mean, that part there in the second half, he went down with a supposedly head injury, like, and I see the replay back, like, and he was barely touched, like, and he went full on down the ground, roaring, shouting at the ref.
That was the buy time, in my opinion, because we were under so much pressure. We needed a break, like.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't like. I don't know. I just think he wasn't good for your team. I think actually you would play if he had fucking anyone else in there other than him. I think he might have done a little bit better. He was poor, man. He was very poor all game. Like I wouldn't have given him 6 out of 10. I'd say for that game. Like he was just poor. Like he didn't add it into your attacking play. He didn't look lost, but anytime he had the ball, he was very indecisive of what to do with us. The game looked a bit fast for him.
Yeah, it wasn't as greatest game. Yeah, I'll give you that.
That was my first bitch. Anyways, next one, McTominay. Lost. Looked like a lost dog in a fucking field of cats. I mean, it was like there was. I was actually watching the first half. Like I was kind of. I don't know what it was. Like I just kept watching. Like he was always running within 5 yards of the ball. He's kind of tactic the whole game was man marking Odegaard, which. To a point, he did.
But he couldn't get near him.
He did okay, though. I mean, like, he stuck on Odegaard enough where Odegaard wasn't really an option for a ball to the centre, and Arsenal were forced to go to the wings, which is fine. I mean, it probably suited Arsenal better anyways, because they got a lot of luck out in the wings against you, like, but I just felt he looked lost. The game was way too fast for him. There was times I just felt he was just looking over his shoulder, looking like, am I supposed to be here or am I supposed to be over there? Like, he just, and in time he got the ball, it was kind of like, it was that fear of like when Harry Maguire gets the ball, it's like, oh God, he's going to do something stupid. It's like, like he's just one of these players that United still have to just kind of offload and bring in better quality, better mentality into the club. I like McTominay, but I think he'd do way better like a fucking Fulham or an Everton or someone like that,
West Ham. I seen reports of like as a Declan Rice replacement, and
like I'm not saying he's a bad player. Like I'm not ripping on him because he's a United player. Like I'm just saying he looked totally lost in that game. Yeah. It was way too high pace for him. Like
he couldn't get near. Like that was the biggest thing. That's why Arsenal controlled the game so much, is because in the middle of the field we had no one to tackle him. No one. There was like Eriksen isn't a tackler. McTominay, like you said, like they were just so much faster in speed of thought. They thought quicker. They were able to move the ball so much faster that McTominay was able to react. So yeah, we were wide open in the middle, wide open.
My next point, was Anthony. Anthony out the fucking right was it's like he gets the ball. He just had no strength to him. There was nothing there. Like there was absolutely nothing there. It was just like you'd have been better playing fucking. I don't know. I thought Garnacho should have been starting anyways. You said it last week as well. Yeah. I thought I definitely thought Gareth should have come on way earlier.
Way early.
But
yeah, but I think Ten Hag settled for the draw. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But anyways, again, Anthony was fucking brutal. Like he did, and he took a few shots as well outside the box. Like, and they're all.
They were poor. Yeah.
He was more than 5. Sorry, he took 2 or 3, I'd say, in the game, and they were just all bad. Like they're all just. I don't know what he was expecting from that game, but he was definitely marked very well throughout the game as well. You know, like anytime he did get the ball, there was always 2 Arsenal players on him to stop him because. I think Arsenal were aware that he has it in the bag. Like he very nearly got through Gabriel there at one stage. He kind of did this kind of salmon kind of flick to get through 2 Arsenal players. He nearly pulled it off, but he ended up just falling over. Like I say, I think it was in the bag for him. But a game like that, like I don't know, you'd expect more from him, especially in a game like that. He just looked invisible. I would have been whipping him off the first half and just putting on anyone else, like you know, but.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next point, which was Fred coming on.
He was awful. Jesus. That was a bad sub.
You took off Anthony, right? And you brought on Fred. So you kind of made yourself very narrow in the end, like.
Yeah. And that, you know what? Like that sub was actually the reason why we lost, in my opinion, because, like you said, it made us narrow. And in fairness to Anthony, one thing I will say about him was he was tracking Zinchenko pretty well.
And he was keeping Arsenal wide as well. You see, he was keeping you spread out, like.
Yeah.
Whereas
when Fred came in, Zinchenko was wide open on the left, on Arsenal's left, and that's where the winning goal came from. You know.
Yeah. It was just like I say. I wouldn't say it was the wrong idea to bring on Fred because. Maybe it was just the way Ten Hag thought the way it was going. He needed a bit more. Like Granit Xhaka was running rings around your midfield. Like he played unbelievable as well. By the way, Granit Xhaka, like
yeah.
Where has this man got his fitness from? I thought he was finished there a couple of years ago. Like this man is fitter than he is.
You have to give it to Arteta. Do you know what? A big moment in the game was him subbing on Tomiyasu for Ben White. Because I genuinely think Ben White would have got a red card with Rashford on him. Because he was already on a yellow. So it was...
Rashford had him. Rashford has this thing with English right backs, man. He owns them every time. Like, he owns them.
Yeah.
He does, like, you know. But, which then brings me to my next point again. Which was, when you were trying to play off in the back, you really miss Casemiro there, like, so badly.
Not only that, De Gea can't fucking do it, man. There was so many times where he just kicked the ball out of play. It makes me so mad. It's like he's trying to play it out to a player, but he just boot it out. You're giving him possession anyway. Just boot it. But he's giving him like possession in our final, like in our defensive third. Like you're just inviting pressure. Oh man! But he did pull out an amazing save for Nketiah.
He did. It was fucking insane, right?
It was a good save. Like, that should be said. Yeah.
But you just miss Casemiro there.
Facts.
So I think he's the player for you have him midfield for. He has when he plays off in the back, he gets the ball. He's able to look over his shoulder and kind of know where he's going to put the ball before he gets the ball.
Yeah, it's quickness of thought.
I just think I also just think as well. I think half time Ericsson just didn't even want to pass the ball to fucking McTominay. Like, he was just like, because you put the ball to that man, like he's just going to fucking give it away. Like, and he did. McTominay gave away possession a good couple of times, like there in the first half.
Constantly.
So. But
look, Arsenal are the real deal, man. They are what?
Yeah.
They are 5 points ahead of City with a game in hand. Still to play City twice though, but I mean, they are only lost once all season, and that was to United at Old Trafford. Yeah,
we definitely get to that, and it was the because I have a big call to make soon, but definitely fucking no, you were just missing that quality in the middle massively. It was a gaping hole. I think if you had Casemiro in that game, you'd have put Arsenal under way more pressure. Like, I think you wouldn't have had to have brought on Fred either.
No.
In the game.
No.
And I think then definitely you would have. I don't know. I just couldn't have seen them score that fucking third goal. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
if you're controlling your midfield better. Like, but then the other thing I also spotted as well, it wasn't so much what Besiktas. Besiktas wasn't doing it so much, but definitely Luke Shaw kept doing this with Saka, where Saka would run at him, and all Luke Shaw would do was just kind of stand off him, and he was just giving Saka so much space. Where like I'd said it 20 minutes before Saka scored that goal, I was like, if Luke Shaw keeps doing this, Saka's going to fucking score him, because he was giving him way too much time with the ball he's feeding.
The problem with Saka though is like he can go either side. He's so good like both sides. He's so dangerous, and the way he's playing at the moment, on form, like just creatively, and even in his finishing, he's just stepped up so well. He's really grown into this Arsenal side. Like, in fairness to him, he's one of their best players. Like Partey, him, and Odegaard, and probably Saliba as well. Like those four. They are incredibly important to Arsenal's title challenge, in my opinion.
I found out something mad today as well. So it was just an assumption by me, like, that I thought Gabriel was like 28, 29 or 30, like, and one of the lads told me today he's only 25.
Yeah.
And like I was thinking, like, you Saliba, Ben White, Gabriel, and I suppose they have Tierney, but Zinchenko, like, they have a back four there for the next 4 or 5 years easily, like.
And even Ramsdale, I don't think is that old. Aaron Ramsdale.
I don't rate him at all, being honest with you.
Yeah, I think he's overhyped too, to be honest. But
I think he's totally overhyped, like completely overhyped. Yeah, but that was more or less it. They were all my observations.
Yeah.
The Sandro Martinez, I thought the goal was just like, he's just not afraid to put his head in the line, because he so easily got a boot into the face there.
Yeah. Someone's coming to clear it, and he just dived in, like, man.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so good. Yeah. Right.
No,
that is our review.
Predictions for that game, what were they?
Our predictions, right? You were very bold on this one. You said 3-0 Man United.
Yeah, I just thought if United got it right against Arsenal, you could have put them into an awful.
Yeah.
Friendly,
you know what? It would have been a completely different game if Wan-Bissaka checked his shoulder. Just saying.
I think you're looking at straws. They are small.
And I predicted 2-1 to Man United. But the actual score, of course, was 3-2. So yeah, Bernie is gonna tot up those predictions. We'll have him in for the next preview for the. Are we only doing these predictions for the league, or is it for everything? Probably for the league only, right?
Oh, for the league only.
Yeah. So we'll have him in there now for not the coming weekend, the weekend afterwards. So I think the weekend beginning, are we into February then? Yeah, 4th and 5th of February. Yeah.
We have another Premier League game now.
We do. One we missed out in our preview was the Spurs game.
Yeah, but we knew we'd have this podcast Monday, so we knew we knew that we'd get to it anyways. Like, we knew that was we knew it was intentional. Like, it was totally intentional. That we get that in. We knew we'd have this podcast on a Monday, and that we'd be able to talk about the Spurs game before it actually kicked off, which is in 2 hours. Less than 2 hours now. But yeah,
this video won't be up before it, but hey, it'll be in there anyway.
Okay, time.
Right, what you make of this one? Because this is actually, like, given the results of this weekend, Spurs can go into like 3 points. Given how totally shit they've been this season, they could still be within 3 points, albeit with 1 game extra played, but within 3 points of third place. Like, they're not out of it at all.
Not at all. But they are bottlers, and they should be a lot higher than what they are, and they're not, because they bottle every fucking lead they get. And I think they're going to Craven Cottage on a Monday night. I don't know. I
just noticed this. Fulham go above Spurs if they win.
Yeah. Like, Fulham are no joke. Like, Fulham are playing very well this season, and I think I know a couple of guys who've gone to Craven Cottage midweek, And they say for any away team to go into that fucking venue at night time, lights on, Craven Cottage, full of Fulham fans, and they've a really shitty away end as well for fucking the away fans. It's just all Fulham fans. It's a very tough stadium to go to where you're looking for the win as well, especially. So being honest with you, I can see Fulham beating Spurs tonight.
Right.
It's a big call. It's a big call, I know, but I can definitely see. Not the biggest call I'm going to make on this podcast, by the way, but it is a big call, I think, because I think with all the shit going on at the moment, now that Conte is going to be gone at the end of the season and stuff like that.
Is that confirmed, by the way? Is he definitely going?
It's not confirmed, but like what has been confirmed, or it has come out anyways, that Conte hasn't asked for an extension, you know, and Tottenham haven't offered him one, and you can just see by Conte's comments every fucking week to the press, like he just has no interest.
He just wants to get out of there, like he just.
You know, a fella who's with a fucking girl, and next thing she just gets some sort of a fucking gland problem, and she puts on 10 stone, you know, and like he kind of has to stay there, you know, for a while just to kind of see it out, like, you know. But then, yeah, he's gone. He's gone like the wind, like, and he'll get a nice cushy job as well somewhere. But he's gone. Yeah. He's out there. They're a failing club. They're a fucked up club. Like
they are screwed. So what's your prediction for it?
Tough one, no. It's just because I can obviously see Tottenham scoring goals, but I can just see Fulham beating them back. Tottenham being stupid at the back, especially again, like they're going to go with a back three again. Like, especially Fulham, like they should be going with. Well, I suppose they do adopt a kind of back five, but I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. I reckon Spurs will go up a goal. Fulham will get one back, and then they'll get a sneaky one in the second half. So I'll say 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I think you're kind of spot on about like Fulham just being just not an easy place to go, especially on like under the lights, like you said, Monday night. A huge opportunity for both teams as well, like to rocket up the table. Like, I mean, it's a huge chance for Fulham, huge. But I think similar to you, but opposite. So I think Fulham are gonna go up early because Spurs seem to consistently just concede goals early. But I still think that Fulham will also win. So I'm going for like a 3-1 win to Fulham.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think they're. Well, look, I mean, I can't wait to be wrong on this.
I'm actually hoping a draw. Like, a draw is what I really want it to be. A draw is good for everyone.
for Liverpool fans, it's good.
For United fans too, right? Shut up. It definitely is good for fucking everyone if it's a draw, being honest with you, because I don't want to see. Well, again, I can't see Fulham holding on to this incredible run that they're having. They will drop off. Like they're going to get injuries.
A couple of injuries there to Mitrovic, and they're impacted hugely by that. Like, right, we've come towards the end, so I'm dying to hear what this huge prediction of yours is, or the biggest call you're about to make. So do tell.
Yeah, so I was kind of. I heard this. I heard it Sky yesterday that Arsenal, 7 players on that first team squad that started against United have played every minute of the Premier League for them this season. And it kind of got me thinking, like, Jesus. You know, I kind of started looking at their bench and stuff. I was like, Jesus Christ, how would they not? They're on a good patch, they're on a great streak, but they haven't got any bad injuries yet. And I reckon with the intensity of games coming up, they're bound to get 2 or 3 injuries. I reckon if Granit Xhaka gets injured, they could be caught in the middle of the field. I reckon any one of those players. Thomas Partey is an injury merchant. Like, I mean, that fella loves time off, like, you know. I mean, so like, you're telling me like that all them players are going to stay fit for the rest of the season? I don't think so. I reckon they'd play City twice. I did not know that either. I thought they'd already played City. I don't know why.
No,
I thought that
it got rescheduled. I think because the Queen's death or something.
But they're not going to beat City. I'm sorry. I was just looking at it. They're not going to beat City. City are going to be so up for that game. You know, I mean, Nah, City are going to get 6 points in them. I reckon City are going to win the fucking league. Arsenal are going to just come seconds. I can't see it. I cannot see them win the league. That is my call. That is my call. I'm actually agreeing with Gary Neville for the first time in my life. I think there is a lot of sense to what you're saying. Like they're just 2 injuries away from having an awful run. Like they really are. Like if Odegaard gets injured, for example, they have to bring in Smith Rowe. You know, who hasn't played a whole pile from since, because he's come back from injury, and like obviously, first 11 is just working for him, so just kind of sticking with that. But them players have a lot of minutes. If Saliba gets injured, fuck me, they're in big trouble. You know, Ben White gets injured, they're cutting the rice.
Yeah,
big time.
Look, I mean, yeah. Well, I think people would have said that about Gabriel Jesus when he was playing up front for Arsenal at the start of the season. Everyone was saying, "Oh, if they get an injury to him, they're screwed." Comes in, Nketiah does bits. Like I hear what you're saying, but it
did hurt them because they drew against Newcastle. You know, that was a goal where if they had Jesus, that was a game where if they had Jesus, they probably would have won us, because Jesus would thrive in a game.
You say that, but like if you look at the top 4 teams that have played, you know, Arsenal, City, and United, that have played against Newcastle this year, Newcastle has drawn against every single one of them. Nobody's beaten Newcastle. They've only lost once all season, and that's against Liverpool in the 98th minute. They beat Spurs. I'm not sure if they've beaten Brighton, Fulham, or Brentford. I can't remember. I'm sure they have, but like I'm sure they've beaten 1 or 2 of those teams. But look. I mean, I didn't know that stat either. That 7 of their players have played every single minute. That's bound to catch up, especially as Europa League comes in as well. But only thing,
if Arsenal are anyway clever now, they're going to fuck that Europa League out the window. Like send out the under 12s there and fucking get paid. Like we did there to Villa there a couple of years ago. You know, they're going to
it's going to be a great game next weekend. This coming weekend, City versus Arsenal in the FA Cup. That's a huge game. It's a huge game.
Be nice. I can see Arsenal beating them in the FA Cup, getting confident and losing both games in the Premier League. That's the way I can see it happening.
Yeah, could. But yeah, I don't think that was too bold of a statement. I think a lot of people still have City winning the league. There's not that many points in it. Like really, 5 points is nothing. 5 points is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, I just felt like a lot of the Arsenal talk after the fucking when they beat United. I think a lot of the Arsenal, like on Twitter especially, like Joe, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that was the game. No, like we're champions. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We've shown champions mentality." I was like,
"It's far from that."
You stupid fucks. I was like, "It's literally 19 games played this season." Yeah. Like, and I was like, "You just haven't got an injury yet. You haven't got that. You haven't gone on that injury train either." Like, you know. Yeah. And like the worst part about getting an injury is they're going to have to get players playing different positions that they're not comfortable with. And that'll lead to more injuries, which is what kind of has happened to Liverpool a lot recently in the last like two seasons especially. And yeah, look, again, they could all stay fit, they could all just keep going the way they're going. They are playing fucking very well, but I think it's going to catch up with them. Like, it really is.
Yeah. Look, that's the great thing about the league, and it's there's so many open questions because teams go on like these runs where they just don't get injuries. Like, I feel like Liverpool had that this season; they won the actual league. Leicester had that, but the thing is with the Leicester thing, they didn't have Europe. They didn't have as many games as Arsenal.
They got to concentrate on the Premier League. Yeah, that was their game.
That was their full concentration was on that. Yeah. So yeah, man.
And you can make the same argument for Newcastle at the moment, like.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if their squad had to deal with Europe, which, you know, either way, no matter what, it seems like it will have to next season with either Conference League, Europa League, or Champions League, then they're going to invest big in the summer, big.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they haven't spent more just like in January. Like, they're in such a class position. How have they not spent? Have they signed anyone this January? Okay, I'm gonna look this up.
I don't think so. You need to check that. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything decent anyways, you know.
Because, I mean, nobody could have predicted the season that they're having so far, right? Nobody. So I'm
Yeah.
looking here. Inns they've spent 136 million, but that's since the start of the season. Like Isaac was 70 million. These are all from the summer.
Yeah, they haven't signed anyone this January. I just think that's Eddie Howe style too. Like, he's not gonna
Jesus.
bring in players. You know, he
Yeah.
like, they don't have European football. They don't need players now. Like, you know, like.
Yeah, but like I would have thought they'd have brought like players in just to like have a better chance of securing top 4. You know? Jeez, I just after seeing this rumors Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Newcastle. Fucking hell. That's
Loftus-Cheek.
That's a weird one.
He'd do a job. He'd do a job there. He'd probably come on File Me on every so often.
Anyways, Bernie, I'd say that's a good place to leave it. What do you think?
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, I think we're done. Did anyone actually even sign anyone? I think only Everton got Denjuma, funnily enough.
Yeah.
After second, their man.
Yeah.
They got
That's a great start for him.
You feel fairly pissed off if you're Frank Lampard at the moment. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
At least I'm sure he got a good signing or sacking fee. He's doing a Jose Mourinho, just making a salary out of getting sacked and being shit.
I was still paying him like 3 million a year, and he's at Roma making another 3 million.
Stupid. Anyway, that's the life. Right, Bernie, thank you so much for joining for another review, or the first review actually, but for another video. On the channel.
The second potty.
Second potty. All right, we'll catch up soon. All right, cheers.
Yeah, man. All good. See you later. Bye. Peace. Bye.
Peace.